Did you know that 80% of seniors regret one decision when they retired? If you're about to retire or you've already taken that step, this could change the rest of your life if you're not careful. It's a costly mistake that sneaks up on you, and many don't realize it until it's too late. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly what to avoid so you can enjoy your golden years with peace of mind. Retirement should be a time of freedom. The long days are yours to fill however you please, whether it's relaxing, traveling, or spending time with loved ones. But for many seniors, what should have been the golden years turned into a stressful financial struggle. This video will dive deep into seniors' most common regrets after retirement and how they can avoid them. But here's the thing. This isn't just about money, it's about your health, happiness, and peace of mind. These financial decisions don't just affect your pocket, they can affect your relationships, lifestyle, and how much you enjoy your later years. A retirement plan is something you set once and forget. However, I want to tell you that 80% of seniors regret the exact same mistake when they retire. I'll explain why they make this mistake and how you can avoid falling into the same trap. Retirement should be a time of freedom, relaxation, and enjoyment, but for many seniors, it turns into a financial struggle. A huge reason for that is the one decision that nearly 80% of retirees regret: the way they manage their finances after they stop working. It's more than just cutting back on luxuries. We're talking about the critical mistake that can affect your quality of life, your health, and even your happiness. Retirement brings with it an enormous shift in how we live. The paycheck stops coming, and a new, fixed income takes its place. This new reality often requires adjustments in spending and saving habits. Unfortunately, not everyone is prepared for that change. How much have you thought about your retirement finances? Are you sure you have everything planned down to the smallest detail? Believe it or not, even small mistakes can snowball over time. Imagine waking up one day, realizing you've spent too much in your first few years of retirement, and now you're living paycheck to paycheck. You could face this reality if you're relying on Social Security alone or have not set up a proper estate plan. Your decisions now will impact the quality of your life in retirement. The financial choices you make today could save you from regret tomorrow, and that's exactly what I want to help you with. Understanding how not to make that costly mistake can prevent unnecessary stress. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan to avoid this trap. In today's video, I'll walk you through 3 major mistakes that lead to this regret and show you what you can do instead. Stay with me because the last point will make you rethink everything about your retirement plan. It's tempting to think that the key to a happy retirement is simply having enough money, but while that's part of it, there's so much more to retirement than financial stability. Many people, unfortunately, focus too much on the money and too little on how they manage it, which can cause financial hardship. Making a few small adjustments could drastically improve your life after retirement and avoid those regrets. So let's dive in and talk about those mistakes. Failing to adjust spending habits. Let's get into the first mistake: not adjusting your spending habits when you retire. Many retirees think their old spending patterns will just work in retirement, but that's not the case. Here, why? When you retire, you face a massive change in your financial landscape. The steady paycheck you've grown accustomed to stops, and now you must make your savings last. It's tempting to keep living the lifestyle you had while working, but that's a surefire way to end up in financial trouble. You may not have the same income in retirement, which means your spending habits need to change. According to an AARP study, nearly 60% of seniors live on a fixed income after retirement, and without a clear plan, their money starts slipping away faster than they anticipated. The key to avoiding this trap is understanding that retirement requires a much more frugal approach. Take Joe, for instance. Joe retired at 65, thinking that his pension and savings would be more than enough to cover his living expenses. He continued spending money as before, eating out at restaurants, buying new gadgets, and going on vacations. But over time, his savings started to dwindle. By the time Joe hit 70, he realized he could no longer afford the lifestyle he had grown accustomed to. He had to cut back drastically, and it wasn't just frustrating, it was disheartening. Joe wished he had planned better for the change in his financial situation. The key here is adjusting your budget to match your new income. Don't be afraid to start small. Look for easy ways to cut back. Consider walking for exercise instead of paying for a gym membership, or preparing more meals at home instead of eating out. Simplify your lifestyle by choosing free or low-cost activities to enjoy, like taking walks in local parks, visiting community centers, or volunteering. And here's a tip. Start tracking your spending every month. It may feel like a chore, but it will help you make sure that you're living within your means. You can even use apps or online tools that track spending to make this process easier. Underestimating healthcare costs. Next, let's talk about health. The second mistake is underestimating healthcare costs in retirement. Many retirees assume that Medicare will cover all their healthcare expenses, but that's far from the case. It's one of the most common financial blind spots for seniors. Healthcare costs are one of the most unpredictable expenses you'll face in retirement. While Medicare can help with some costs, it doesn't cover everything. Long-term care, prescription medications, doctor's visits, and other medical needs can add up quickly. And unfortunately, many seniors don't realize how expensive healthcare can be until they find themselves needing services. According to the National Institute on Aging, nearly 70% of people over 65 will need some form of long-term care in their lifetime. Long-term care costs can easily exceed $100,000 a year, depending on where you live and the type of care you need. It's vital to plan for these costs ahead of time so you don't face a financial crisis when you need care. Carol, who retired comfortably at 67, thought Medicare fully covered her health care. She didn't anticipate the need for long-term care or the cost of medications that Medicare didn't cover. Over the years, her medical needs increased, and before she knew it, she was paying out of pocket for prescription drugs and home health care. What seemed like a manageable expense at first became a financial burden that drained her savings. The lesson here is simple: plan for healthcare expenses and not rely on assumptions. Get the best supplemental insurance possible, and consider long-term care insurance as part of your retirement planning. Many insurance policies now cover not just hospital visits, but also at-home care and other senior needs. It's essential to have these conversations with your financial planner and medical professionals so you're fully aware of your options. Additionally, staying active and eating a balanced diet, lean meats, leafy greens, and whole grains can help keep you healthy and avoid extra medical costs. Not having a solid estate plan. Now let's move to one of the most overlooked mistakes in retirement: not having a solid estate plan. Many seniors put off making wills, setting up trusts, or assigning powers of attorney. However, not having a plan can lead to major stress for your loved ones when the time comes. Estate planning is something that many people think can be put off until later. After all, no one likes to think about what happens when they're gone. But by delaying estate planning, you risk leaving your family with difficult decisions to make when you're no longer around. Research from the American Bar Association found that nearly 60% of adults don't have a will, which can cause families to face unnecessary legal battles and tax issues. If you don't have a clear plan in place, the courts may decide how your estate is divided. This can create confusion, delay in accessing assets, and even create family tensions. Take Frank, who passed away unexpectedly at 75. He had no will, and his family had to scramble to figure out his final wishes. The lack of clarity led to a series of legal battles that delayed the distribution of his estate for months. His children were left with financial strain and unnecessary emotional distress. His solution is to get your estate plan in place now. It doesn't have to be complicated, but having a will, assigning a power of attorney, and possibly setting up a trust can save your family from confusion and financial stress. Work with a trusted attorney to get your affairs in order, and rest easy knowing your loved ones will be taken care of. It's also worth noting that your estate plan should be reviewed regularly, as life circumstances can change. Are you still with me? If you're feeling like you might be making some of these mistakes, you're not alone. In fact, many families face these same issues. So before we move on to the final mistake, I want you to pause and ask yourself, am I ready for retirement? Comment yes if you're prepared, or no if you're still working on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Relying too much on Social Security. Now here's the most dangerous mistake that 80% of seniors make: relying too much on Social Security as their primary source of income. According to the Social Security Administration, the monthly Social Security benefit is just over $1,500. For many, that's not enough to live on, significantly if healthcare or living expenses increase. Social Security was never intended to cover all of your retirement expenses. It's just a supplement to your savings and other sources of income. While it may seem like a lifeline, depending solely on it for your entire retirement could be a huge mistake. Take Helen, for example. A widow in her early 70s, Helen thought that Social Security benefits would be enough to cover her monthly expenses. She had always worked hard and was proud of her modest pension, so when she started receiving Social Security, she figured that it would be enough to live comfortably. After all, she had been living on a budget throughout her working years, so why wouldn't she be able to make it work in retirement? However, as inflation gradually increased, so did Helen's everyday living costs. Groceries, utilities, and even insurance premiums started creeping up, putting more strain on her limited income. To make matters worse, Helen had some health concerns that required regular medication and doctor's visits, which added a significant financial burden that wasn't fully covered by Medicare. By the time she hit her late 70s, Helen was dipping into her savings just to make ends meet. She was left with the realization that Social Security, while helpful, simply wasn't enough to sustain her lifestyle or provide for unexpected medical needs. Helen's situation is not uncommon. Many seniors find themselves in a similar position where Social Security provides just a portion of their income, but without enough supplemental resources, they struggle financially. This is why it's crucial not to rely solely on Social Security. Diversify your income sources. So, how can you avoid falling into this trap? The key is diversifying your income sources. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Here are a few strategies you can consider. Part-time work. Many seniors choose to continue working part-time in retirement, not because they need to, but because they enjoy staying active and engaged. It's also a great way to supplement your income without having to rely solely on your retirement savings. Whether it's a part-time job in retail, tutoring, or freelance work, it's a good way to keep earning without overexerting yourself. Investments can be an effective way to supplement Social Security income. Even small, low-risk investments such as bonds or dividend-paying stocks can help generate extra income. It's important to educate yourself about investing or consult a financial advisor to ensure you're making smart choices based on your risk tolerance and goals. Diversifying your investment portfolio can protect you against inflation and provide a steady income stream. Other savings plans. Look into opening an IRA, individual retirement account, or a similar savings plan that allows you to continue building wealth in retirement. While it's best to start saving for retirement as early as possible, it's never too late to invest and create additional retirement funds. With the right planning, you can use these accounts to build a solid nest egg that will further reduce your reliance on Social Security. Financial literacy. Finally, remember that retirement is not the time to stop learning about financial matters. Financial literacy is a lifelong endeavor. By continuing to educate yourself about money management, budgeting, and investment strategies, you can make informed decisions that help you grow your wealth and reduce the pressure on Social Security. There are plenty of resources available, from online courses to books and podcasts, to help you stay informed. Helen's story shows the importance of planning ahead and understanding that Social Security is just one piece of the puzzle. By diversifying your income and continuing to manage your finances wisely, you can avoid the stress of relying solely on Social Security and instead enjoy a more comfortable and secure retirement. To wrap things up, first, it's crucial to adjust your spending habits to align with your new income in retirement. A fixed income requires a shift in how we manage money. You can't continue to live as if you have the same paycheck you did while working. By adjusting your spending now, you ensure that your money stretches further, so you don't find yourself running out when you need it most. Prepare for healthcare costs by planning ahead. As we age, our healthcare needs increase. The cost of prescriptions, doctor visits, and possibly long-term care can add up quickly. Medicare is helpful, but it doesn't cover everything, and many seniors find themselves facing unexpected medical bills. Start planning for these costs early by considering supplemental insurance and looking into long-term care options. Taking action now means fewer surprises later on. Create an estate plan to avoid putting unnecessary stress on your loved ones. While it's not a pleasant thought, having a solid will, assigning powers of attorney, and possibly setting up a trust can prevent family disputes and confusion when you're gone. An estate plan gives you peace of mind, knowing that your assets will be distributed as you intend, and your loved ones won't be burdened with legal battles or uncertainty. And lastly, don't rely solely on Social Security. Make sure you have other income streams. Social Security is meant to supplement, not replace, your savings and investments. Depending only on it can leave you vulnerable to rising costs and unexpected expenses. Diversify your income by exploring other options like part-time work, investments, or building additional savings plans. The more diversified your income sources, the less financial stress you'll feel in retirement. Making these simple changes now can prevent a lifetime of regret. It's easy to think that retirement is far away, but in reality, the sooner you start planning, the better prepared you'll be when the time comes. Even if you're already retired, it's never too late to make adjustments. Try adjusting just one of these habits today, whether it's budgeting differently or starting to look into long-term care, and see how it can positively impact your retirement journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with your friends or family members who are getting ready to retire. Let's help each other navigate retirement with fewer worries and more enjoyment. Share this knowledge with those around you to ensure that everyone gets the most out of their retirement years. And don't forget to comment below with your thoughts or experiences. What mistakes have you learned from in your retirement journey? Have you made any of these common errors, or have you found ways to avoid them? Let's start a conversation and help each other make smarter decisions for the future.